Good morning, one and all. Today is what? The 15th of March on a Thursday of 2018, guys. We have a lot to discuss because Raw, SmackDown killed it this week. Even NXT killed it this week. Some questionable matches, but overall they did an excellent job. There's one thing that we're going to start off with. The Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale. But as of right now, I'm going to drink some fabulous, oh so delicious Starbucks caramel frappuccino for just a minute here or so. The caramel frappuccino is so good. Not sponsored by Starbucks. Unless if Starbucks, you want to sponsor me, hey, I'd be okay with that. Anyways. Let's start off with Fabulous Moolah. They announced it during Raw, like in the middle of the show. Ooh, guys, it's bad. Based off of what I've read, and I've seen videos of, Fabulous Moolah as a person was evil. She had her own wrestling school, and the young ladies that she had as wrestlers, she would go and she would sell them as prostitutes. She would traffic the young ladies. She would drug the young ladies, even have other men rape them during her wrestling school. So, wow, that is looking ugly on the WWE. Now, with Jeff Hardy, with his DWI, they're having two bad situations. Them having Fabulous Moolah as their battle royale. I would even consider doing Sable, Sunny. Actually, Sunny would be a good. Well, actually, no, she does adult cams now. What's her name? Mae Young would be a good one. Shoot, Trish Stratus, even though she's super duper young, I think she'd be a good name for the Battle Royale other than Fabulous Moolah. That's not looking good on the WWE. I would have, like I said, I didn't see that they announced it during the middle of Raw, but I put it as the number one thing to talk about because that is looking ugly on their part. Anyways, this is going to be a long session. 1 second. Oh, so good. This is going to be a long one, so we gotta get right into it, because this is going to be at least an hour of actual content, because actually a lot happened on Raw and SmackDown. NXT, not as much, because they only have like an hour to get this all filled in within an hour. Okay, so Reigns gets pissed that Brock Lesnar's again a no-call, no-show. Goes to Vince McMahon like, hey, where's Brock Lesnar? And so they cut it to commercial break. I didn't start watching this match. I started watching when the bar came out, but that's a different match. Vince McMahon comes to talk to the not ring announcer, but the backstage commenter. He says to her that he has suspended Reigns indefinitely, in quotations, the suspension part, foreseeable future for his antics inside that. So now they'll allow Lesnar next week to come out and talk trash, and allow not Brock Lesnar himself talk trash, but allow Brock Lesnar to come out and let Paul Heyman do the trash talking. And then the following week, they'll have Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and they'll do this big old brawl. And so that's the idea. Sasha Banks beats Sonya Deville, and then after the match, Bayley just looks frustrated. She walks out, and Absolution surround the ring, and which is weird because again, Paige is injured, so she surrounds the ring with the other two young ladies, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, but they jump her, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, Sasha Banks, and they just wail on her. And at the end of the match, or at the end of that little segment, they're just standing over Sasha Banks. Where's my marker? Where's my marker? Where'd it go? Hold on a second, guys. Couldn't find my marker, so I gotta go get another one. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Here we go. Alright. Alright. Let's just do this right here. Pow. 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 Perfect. There we go. Okay. The bar has been talking a lot of trash, and I'm glad that they did what they did with this segment. The storyline is that the bar keeps on getting on Twitter and like, we're the best tag team on Raw. We want to get traded to... What happens before that even happens, the trading part, all of the tag team division comes out and they're just beating the living tar out of the bar because they're tired of their antics of being on Twitter saying that they're the best tag team on Raw. And so the bar, Sheamus and Cesaro come back to talk to Kurt Angle about that they want to get traded to SmackDown so they can go against the Bludgeon Brothers, the Usos, the New Day, Breezango. They want to beat up all these other SmackDown ones. They want to get traded like then and there. They're not wanting to wait till the shake off after WrestleMania. They want to do it right then and there. But Kurt says that they're going to have a tag team battle royale later on in the show to see who goes against the bar at WrestleMania. So it was a good segment. You had like all these other teams that the bar has beat to make it where they have a chance again to go to WrestleMania and go against the bar at WrestleMania. So I was pretty happy with that segment. So far we got the Reigns segment. I'll give it... it's kind of interesting how they made it where Reigns is suspended. I'd probably give that little segment... Again, they've been really trying to focus on Reigns. I'll give it a B+. It's not mediocre. It's not good, like a minor good, but it's not great. It's an interesting little segment, to say the least. I get what they're doing with Sasha Banks and Bayley, but it sucks that it makes it where Sonya Deville is taking all the beatings instead of having somebody else. So I would probably give that a B. This, like, it makes sense of what they're doing to make it where Bayley and Sasha are walking out on each other as best friends. And so they're trying to build that up for WrestleMania. But Sonya Deville is they brought up this clique and they're getting thrown under the bus. So I don't get what's going on with that. So I give it a B. It's not. Yeah, you know what? B-. B-. I didn't like that segment. And then the tag team division attacking the bar. Not too. Actually, it was actually surprising to see all the tag teams come out. I'll give it an A. That was pretty awesome to see all these people that they've lost go in and attack the bar, which was awesome. So we'll move on to the next one. This next segment, John Cena talks trash to The Undertaker. This is the most fiery promo by John Cena that we have seen in quite some time. This is an A. Actually, to be honest, the way that he went into the audience, said he's going to be just a fan at WrestleMania, and he drinks some beer live on Raw. And he comes in and talks shit about Undertaker and how he's just doing workout videos and not going to wrestle at WrestleMania. He's talking all sorts of shit. And he talks about how the backstage executives, the storyliners, are going to try to turn off his mic. So I give that an A+. That was an awesome segment by John Cena. Surprising that he just took it so far. This is almost like a heel John Cena, which is what everybody's been wanting for so long. Finn Balor defeats Seth Rollins. It was okay. So before this, between here and was it here? There was I think it was between this. No, earlier on, I think it was right after the Sasha Banks, which I didn't see it on the WWE.com. They had The Miz talking to Finn Balor and Seth Rollins on The Miz TV, and they end up attacking what's his name? The Miz. And then Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, I think, got in each other's face. And then Kurt Angle made a match to make it where these two go against each other. And Finn Balor and Seth Rollins killed it. Like, that was an awesome match. Finn Balor gets hit by a big off the top rope suplex by Seth Rollins. And then he was going for the Falcon Arrow, Seth Rollins, but Finn Balor turns into a cradle package and gets the 3 count. And so Seth Rollins is pissed, and Finn Balor is just laughing at him. The match itself, I give it an A. I mean, those two kill it every time. They wrestle with each other or they wrestle together, so on and so forth. They do an excellent job when they are in the ring together. Like what I said, in the middle of Raw was the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale announcement. I'm not going to get into that anymore. I give that a D. I give that segment a D. The reason why I don't give it an F is that they're trying to hype up a women's Battle Royale. I feel sorry for the young ladies, but they're also trying to make a name for themselves with that Battle Royale, so I give it a D instead of an F. I feel sorry for Ember Moon, any of the young ladies that aren't going to be part of the main picture for the women's championships, like the women's Raw or SmackDown, gives them the chance to be a part of something truly amazing, so that gives them that chance to really do something good at WrestleMania. But Fabulous Moolah is a piece of shit human being, to be honest. So again, a D. I feel sorry for the young ladies. Asuka comes out and wants to talk about going to SmackDown instead of Raw. And then Mickie James and Alexa Bliss come out, and they talk trash about how she wants to go to a minor show with minor ladies that don't win matches or don't perform as well as Alexa does. But Asuka says that she's already defeated. She already has defeated Alexa Bliss before, which she did, but it wasn't for the championship. But she wants to go to SmackDown and go against somebody an amazing wrestler in what's her name? Charlotte Flair. You got Becky Lynch, Naomi, the Ruby Riot Squad. So this will probably be the last time we see Asuka in the Raw ring. And then Alexa Bliss tries to have Nia Jax come out to wrestle Asuka. But Asuka, Nia Jax doesn't come out to wrestle or to beat up Asuka. She's busy in the back getting ready for her match. And so it's Mickie James versus Asuka. Asuka defeats Mickie James. And it's kind of a weird ending to the Asuka match because you see Alexa Bliss run after the match is over with, and looks like she's kind of like betraying her buddy, Mickie James. But she goes in the back to talk to Nia Jax and asks, "Where did you go? Why weren't you here at the ringside or try to help us beat up Asuka after or before this match occurred?" But Nia Jax says that she was getting ready for her match. This was a cringe-worthy segment right here, guys, because you had Alexa Bliss saying to Nia Jax that she loves her as a friend. She always has her back in matches, so on and so forth. Nia Jax says, "I love you too." But it looked weird during the Asuka versus Mickie match is that Mickie looked like she was betrayed by Alexa. Like Alexa just walks away from Mickie, and Mickie like looks back as she's going up the entrance, like, "Where are you going? Why aren't you coming back into the ring to help me beat up Asuka after the match?" They could have had that kind of a role, but they didn't, in which I'll tell you here in a minute of what happens. Nia defeats a woman named Joanne, which is just, it was just a squash match. It was a jobber. The Joanne woman did not have any, like, ring, like, wrestling in her. It was a squash match. And then they had again, this was another awkward part of the Nia Jax, Mickie James, and Alexa Bliss storyline, is they showed a back in the backstage segment where Mickie James and Alexa Bliss are just completely trashing Nia Jax, calling her pretty much not obese, but they're calling her an overweight wrestler, and that if it wasn't for Alexa, she wouldn't be anybody. Just really cringeworthy because they're trying to make it where it's Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Just instead of having it where it's Nia Jax just destroys like all of the women on Raw and then demands her championship, they're making it awkward with Nia getting made fun of. I don't really appreciate it that much. The Asuka match versus Mickie, a C. The Nia Jax defeating Joanne. Again, they could have had her wrestle an actual wrestler, but that, I give it a D. Again, she just squashed her. I hate jobber matches. I really do. I can talk to you guys about this. We have talked about this before with the Bludgeon Brothers. They did squash matches. We already know that they're capable of. And we already know how Nia Jax is. She's a beastly woman that's a beautiful young lady, but there's no reason for them to have squash matches, like jobber matches. I hate jobber matches. Honestly, if it's a brand new wrestler like, there's a guy named Ricochet. He's in NXT. If you were to come to Raw or SmackDown, it'd be one thing and have him do jobber matches. But we already knew of Nia Jax. So why have her defeat a jobber? But then the backstage segment, I would give it a D also. It was just cringeworthy. I did not really appreciate any of the derogatories, the belittling of Nia Jax. It was just awkward. Again, they're trying to do the woke Matt Hardy still, and so they do a footage of Matt Hardy at his house, and they show this big old pile of rubble. They show pretty much like a backyard wrestling feel to the segment. They're going to have their deletion match with Bray Wyatt next week. I like the idea that they're trying to be creative, so I'll give them a C+. Just because it was cute seeing their little boy. What was that little girl? This little boy. And he's just adorable. And he has the outfit as Matt Hardy. It was pretty adorable. So I give it a C+. I understand where they're coming from with the Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy. I wish they would do. They might do it. No, they're not going to do it. They'll probably just have Matt Hardy do all his matches. I wish they would do the segment like what they did with Randy Orton. Oh, that was weird. Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in Bray Wyatt's match, which was awesome. They might do that at WrestleMania, but as of right now, they're just doing Matt Hardy's matches, his deletion matches, and so I give it a C+. And the last match was a tag team battle royale, and Braun Strowman comes out by himself, and I don't know what that noise is. It's like kind of sounds like a boat outside my house. That's weird. Anyways, Braun Strowman comes out by himself and says, start the match to the ref like 3 or 4 times. And he ends up winning the whole tag team battle royale by himself. And so this leaves the opening that he might just have a 2-on-1 handicap match against the Bar. He might have another tag team partner that we don't know about. Lars Sullivan, they're talking several other big, ginormous wrestlers maybe being Braun Strowman's tag team partner. And this gives the chance for Braun Strowman to win some kind of title and like makes it where he's still important to wrestling, to WWE, because he's been kind of just a destructive person. It's good that they keep that up, but he's not a part of the main event. He's not going to be part of the main event, so this gives him the chance to be a part of WrestleMania and maybe win the tag team titles, maybe by himself. They might do that. I'm not sure yet. So that was a part of Raw. That was all Raw right there alone. That's a good half an hour. Seems like it's going to be a good about hour and 20 minutes or so, because this SmackDown was as big as Raw. And like I said, this NXT is pretty good, but it's not going to be like a half an hour segment right here that I did with Raw. Hold on a moment. Oh, yeah, that's the spot. Okay, SmackDown. We had AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura, because this is also the week that yeah. Ooh. It's supposed to be the reverse. Shinsuke confronts AJ Styles. My apologies, guys. This this is the week that what's his name? The WWE Fastlane was. This is the same week as Fastlane, and so Shinsuke, AJ Styles comes out and says that he won the six-pack challenge, and that this is AJ Styles' house that he built is SmackDown. But then Shinsuke comes out and they kind of do a little feud, but then Shinsuke says that until WrestleMania that he's going to have his back. And so that leads to Rusev coming out and having a match with AJ Styles. But AJ Styles wins by DQ because Aiden English comes in to help Rusev beat up AJ Styles. Then in turn has Shinsuke come in and helps save AJ Styles. So it's just making it where Shinsuke is still a best friend with AJ Styles, but it's a possibility that AJ Styles, before WrestleMania, might turn on Shinsuke Nakamura. And then Shinsuke, there's a good possibility he's going to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. We shall see, though. They had a backstage segment where Jimmy and Big E aren't happy, but they want to team up so they can beat the Bludgeon Brothers, because the Bludgeon Brothers are just tearing up everybody. Or both of those two teams, the Usos and the New Day. So they teamed up together to go against the Bludgeon Brothers. But the Bludgeon Brothers, again, they're going to wreck both teams at WrestleMania. And then probably a good chance that Authors of Pain will come up after WrestleMania to go against the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Championships, which is going to be an awesome match. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Authors of Pain is going to be an awesome match. And eventually, New Day will... I already talked about that, my prediction, which I'm going to go ahead and, the week before WrestleMania, I'm going to do a predictions video of who I think is going to be the main eventers, the co-main eventers, the middle card, the pre-kickoff of WrestleMania 1 year from now. And that's again, 1 week before WrestleMania. I'm going to do a predictions podcast with you guys. But I haven't talked about what I think. It's interesting to see Shinsuke saying he's going to have AJ Styles back. I would probably give that, again, seeing those two wrestle or confront each other, I would give it at least a B+. It's interesting seeing Shinsuke say that he's going to have his back, and then same with AJ Styles. I'll just give it an A because I love AJ Styles. I've watched him, Bobby Roode, and Samoa Joe back in their prime in TNA, and I love AJ Styles. Shinsuke is a good wrestler. His English accent seems like it's getting better over time. I love that. And so I'll give that an A. AJ Styles defeating Rusev by DQ keeps Rusev not competent, but important to SmackDown. But at the same time, they're trying to before this even occurred, this whole thing with Rusev, they were trying to make him a good guy for a while there. And so I don't get what's going on with Rusev is he trying to be a babyface? Is he trying to be a heel? They're going back and forth too much. I'm going to go ahead and give it a B. Again, I'm not sure what's going on with Rusev, but I love AJ Styles. If it wasn't for if I knew what was going on with AJ Styles or Rusev, and I would have gave it an A, but he's going back and forth too much as for being a babyface or a heel. Okay, and then we just got done talking about the Bludgeon Brothers. No, we haven't talked about it. Bludgeon Brothers defeat Jimmy and Big E. They just squish them in a match. I'm glad to see that the Bludgeon Brothers are doing the actual going against wrestlers, unlike the Nia Jax match. So I'm gonna give that an A. I love the Bludgeon Brothers. Not their little their goodness gracious. Oh goodness gracious! Their little nicknames of being the Bludgeon Brothers. Hold on one moment, guys. I gotta use the bathroom, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this a pause. There's a long break between all this stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause real quick. I use the bathroom real quick. Be right back, guys. I'm gonna pause with also the capture card. Pause, please. There we go. Okay, guys, I'm back once again. Come on, continue to play. It's acting weird. Come on. Really? Play. There we go. Okay. I think. Okay. Huh. Okay, so this is weird, guys. Okay. I guess I can just continue this. Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. That was weird. Hold on. Ooh. Okay, so I paused it on here, so there's like a little gap between here and there. It's weird when it comes to my capture card. If we click on it, come on, show off the set. It shows 32 minutes and 37 seconds, but yet it shows recorded time of 42 minutes. So I wonder if I can just cut off those extra 10 minutes or so. Is what I think the idea is. We'll see. I think I will just cut off that extra 10 minutes and then go from there. We'll see. I think that's what the idea is. I'll probably just cut off that 10 minutes of... It doesn't show anything in the background, and so it's just wasted time of 10 minutes. Anyways, hold on a moment. Okay. Jinder Mahal, again, before this match started, there was a storyline segment with Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, and Randy Orton. They're all just talking trash of who should be United States champion, so on and so forth. Jinder Mahal goes against Bobby Roode one-on-one, and Jinder Mahal pulls off, gets the victory. And then after the match, Randy Orton comes out of nowhere and gets the RKO on Jinder Mahal and stands tall as the one person only standing tall between the three of them. It's an interesting idea of having Jinder Mahal be a part of this match between Bobby Roode and Randy Orton at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I give the match probably... Jinder Mahal is getting better as a wrestler. Bobby Roode is an excellent wrestler. I give it a B+. I'm very impressed by Jinder Mahal. He's getting better as a wrestler. His trash talk has always been pretty good. He needs to stop saying that he's the face of like Indian people, and that's getting kind of old. But him calling himself the modern day Maharaja I'm okay with that. Again, I give the match a B+. It's not an A because it's leading up to having Jinder Mahal join Bobby Roode and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. It's leading to that point to make it where it's a triple threat match. Again, that's what my thought is when it comes to that match. Carmella is starting to build some momentum here, guys. She beats Naomi one-on-one. I give this match, again, it's interesting how they're just having Carmella and Naomi feuding. There was no real reason for those two to feud. So I'll give it a B, because it's helping build momentum for Carmella to cash in her Money in the Bank at any time, anywhere. But more than likely, it's going to be a WrestleMania. So I give it a B. That's all I got to really say about that. And so the final segment, Shane McMahon comes out and he talks to Daniel Bryan personally on the phone and says, hey, I need to take a hiatus. I've been not acting like a true commissioner. I've been acting like a wrestler, using my own power to persuade and to antagonize Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I've been not at the commissioner I should be, so he's going to take a temporary hiatus, probably till closer to WrestleMania. But before that, before he starts his hiatus, he announces that it's going to be Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out and they're like, "We don't want this. You shouldn't be allowed to do this. Have it where we have to go against one another." They kind of find it bullshit. And so they start attacking Shane McMahon, and they throw. They put a steel chair around his neck and throw it against the turnbuckle post around ringside. It makes it where he gets hurt, so that way he can't come back next week and punish them further. This is actually making it where he has to take that hiatus instead of saying that he's going to come back next week and make their life live in hell again. So that was an excellent way of doing that. I give that an A, a solid A. It was not too surprising of Shane to make it where it's Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, because those two tear it up every time they get into the ring. It was last year? Or was it the year before? It might have been last year. No. Year before, because last year they didn't do anything with Sami Zayn. The year before, they had pretty much every pay-per-view was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, and they tore it up every time. They lit it up. They were the most underrated matches every time. I love those matches. And so I give it a solid A, but it's not too surprising. I would have gave it an A+. If they would have done something else surprising. So that was SmackDown there, guys. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and probably cut off that extra 10 minutes on the extra Elgato footage. And with this, I'll go and I can just continue onwards, because it was weird. I had like a little tidbit of not recording, but I should have it. I was able to continue this one big segment on one podcast footage right here. But let's go ahead and get into NXT, which shouldn't take too long. This is actually surprisingly only. Hold on a second. You guys have seen this too. Start and length of section selection. Okay, so I think I got the idea of what's going on. I think once I push stop with this is getting me just testing this out, because I don't really know much about this. I don't know much about Audacity, so I'm not sure if I push stop if it's going to have 3109. No, start at 0. And I'm gonna have to mess around with it once I get done with this podcast. I'll have to go and from start to end of at 00 to an hour, if that. It's gonna be probably 45 minutes. Well, with me talking to you guys about this, it might be closer to an hour. This is going to be weird, because again, I want it at 0 minutes, and then have it at whatever time I end it. So I'm going to have this one big old segment. I'm hoping to be able to have it work out that way. Also, I don't really have to do that, because again, you guys are seeing all this footage. And so you guys don't really need for me to edit this. But I could edit it for the podcast's sake. We'll see. Anyways. On to NXT. Sanity just defeats some jobbers. Eric Young and I can't remember who the other. There's Killian Dane, who's a part of Sanity. You have that Cross girl. I can't remember her name is. Nikki Cross. And then you have Eric Young, Nikki Cross, Killian Dane, and I can't remember who the fourth member is. But that fourth member and Eric Young go against two wrestlers that I've never heard of. And so it's just pretty much those two jobbers versus Sanity. And Sanity is moving on into the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic tournament. So this is a simple B. It wasn't an awful segment, but it wasn't a mind-blown segment. It wasn't like Sanity defeated the Bludgeon Brothers or something like that. So they got a B. Let's move on to Tommaso. Tommaso. I think it's how you Tommaso. I don't know how to pronounce the guy because I haven't really watched NXT in so long. Tommaso comes out and wants to talk to the universe, wants to talk to the roster about what he wants to do on the roster. But instead of being able to talk at all, he ends up getting silenced by the NXT universe. They just talk a bunch of trash to him. They say Johnny Wrestling. They chant that out quite a bit. They do the Johnny emoji, I guess. And so instead of being able to talk, he just storms off. It's interesting, this segment. I give it a C+. I don't really know what is going on, what the point is. So I'm not 100% certain. So I give it a C+. Actually a C. It's just weird having to come out and then leave. I give it a C, actually. Dakota Kai defeats Lacey Evans, who defeated... what's her name? Sane. Her last name is Sane. The pirate girl. Lacey Evans, they were trying to beef her up, make her this really important wrestler by beating the Mae Young Classic. They had Lacey Evans defeat that young lady that won that whole tournament. But then the following week, or 2 weeks ago, they had Lacey Evans defeat that young lady. And then 2 weeks later, Dakota Kai defeats Lacey Evans, this young lady that she kind of seems like Bailey, is not a very good wrestler, kind of awkward. So I don't get that whole thing. I give it a C also. I don't get why push Lacey Evans when you're going to have her lose to a wrestler that nobody really hears of. So weird. I'm so glad to see this next match, how it went. Street Profits defeat Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery, they don't look like... One wrestler in the Heavy Machinery, he's the taller one. He looks like he could be a good singles wrestler, or if he were to be teamed up with Braun Strowman, it'd be one thing. But the other wrestler, he's a shorter, stubbier guy. He does not look like he'd work out. He's going to work out for Heavy Machinery. But Street Profits are both really athletic, in tremendous shape. I'm glad that they got the win and are moving on into the Dusty Rhodes Classic Tournament. I give that a B. Again, it's not a match that blows my mind. Let's move on to the next one. Pete Dunne defeats Adam Cole by DQ. I give this a B. Most of the time, when it comes to Adam Cole, I give anything with Adam Cole in the match an A. Busy biting my lip there for a minute. I usually give any match with Adam Cole in a match an A And then Pete Dunne is a beast of a UK champion. But I don't get why these two are feuding now. Like, there was no point of them feuding because Adam Cole is not from the UK. Why have Adam Cole go against Pete Dunne? There's no storyline leading up to this. So Pete Dunne is a good wrestler, a really good wrestler. But I give if there would have been a storyline leading up to these two going against each other, it'd be one thing. But it's just two wrestlers wrestling that one's a champion, one is a really good wrestler that has a good stable in the Undisputed Era. There's no storyline, so I give it a B. Like, I want to give it an A because I love Adam Cole, I love Pete Dunne, but there's no point to giving that match an A. And then the final segment for NXT was Aleister Black coming out and signing his contract to go against what's his name? Go against Andrea Cien Almas. But he wasn't there. Andrada. That's what it was. My bad. He wasn't there, but that young lady, I can't remember what her name is. Vega? I can't remember if it was that as her last name or her first name, but she comes out, signs the contract for Andrada, but she just talks a bunch of trash to Aleister Black. Aleister Black just makes fun of her size. And then he signs the contract and he said that he's glad that Andrada didn't come in because he didn't, that she came alone, but he didn't. Then what's her name? Oh, Candice LeRae, which is Johnny Gargano's wife, comes out and just starts beating the living tar out of Vega. And then does her classic bulldog move and ends the segment with that because she wants to stand up for her man who can no longer be a part of NXT, which I love that. That was an awesome match between Andrada Cien Almas. I'm glad at the way how it ended. Allow Andrada to keep the championship, and then it gives Johnny Gargano or Johnny Wrestling the chance to go to Raw or SmackDown or even 205 Live, which is a good chance. He's kind of skinny to be a main eventer for the championship, but he's kind of like what's his name? Wow, for the life of me I cannot remember it. Kind of like Finn Balor. So I would like to see him at least come to SmackDown and win the United States Championship, or go to Raw and not go to 205 Live, because they're trying to build up 205 quite a bit. A lot of these wrestlers that are already on 205 to help produce 205 to where other wrestlers can come to it. Because I know they're going to put Ricochet on 205 Live, and that's going to make me really sad because he's a good wrestler. But I would give that last segment a B+. It wasn't random. It was just a contract signing. But again, the reason why I don't give that segment an A is because, again, it's a contract signing. It wasn't meh, or it wasn't good, but it wasn't amazing. So I give it it wasn't good. It was pretty good, but it wasn't amazing. So it was pretty good. I give it that last segment. I give it like I said, a B+. So we have, I think, let's look at this real quick before I end this segment. You guys are seeing this too. I think it's the 8th. It's when it's maybe the 15th. Hold on one moment, guys. Before I end this video. When is WrestleMania? Is it the 15th? WrestleMania 34. What is that date? April 8th. So we have, let's look at this again. You guys can look at my screen. That's fine. I got Blizzard app open. I got all these other things over here along with Steam. You guys can look at that. That's fine. Anyways, we have 3 weeks from this upcoming Sunday. So we have that week, and then the 4th week is... So 3 weeks from this upcoming Sunday, 1 week, 2 weeks, and the 3rd week we got WrestleMania. And so on the 1st, well, technically the 5th, I'm going to do 2 podcasts during that week. One podcast is going to be for the actual the results, the grades, the reactions to Raw, SmackDown, and NXT as usual. And then I'm going to do a predictions, like what I said at the beginning of this video, of who I think is going to be one year from now, who are going to be the main event, who's going to be in the main event, who's going to be on the co-main event, the mid-card, the pre-kickoff show matches, and then I might also even do who's going to be part of NXT. I don't really know a whole lot of wrestlers other than Zia Brookside. I want her a part of WWE by the end of next year because she is a young lady. She's 17, I think, now. And she's been, tearing it up in the indie scene. So that's what I might look at some other wrestlers that people are talking about, look at their matches and see if there's any of them I would like to see a part of NXT. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast. And like I said, 1 week from now, we'll be doing another results. The following week, another results. And then, let's look at this one more time. The next 3 weeks, I'll be doing results of Raw and SmackDown and NXT. And then on the 5th, I'll be doing also a predictions 1 year from now to see who I think will be a part of the main event. Is what my idea is, which I already talked about the main event 1 year from now, which is Roman Reigns versus John Cena, title on the line versus career on the line is 1 year from now is my prediction for the main event. It's going to be Roman Reigns' title versus John Cena with his career on the line is what I think is going to be the main event 1 year from now. Is one of my predictions. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast right here.